Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, welcome to Where Energy Meets the Divine. Today is May 25th, 2024. In case you're listening to a whole bunch of podcasts and you are wondering where we are in the human realm of placement, I wanted to give you some tips about intuition, things that I've learned over the years, things that I'm sure many professional psychics utilize and understand. One, the universe, when it's trying to teach you something, will show you the same thing over and over again. When I was learning energy medicine, which I am self-taught, I would have 3 people in one day with the same problem so that the universe could show me how to move energy in their body based on that condition or situation or circumstance. And I remember when it was first happening, I'd go, am I just making this up? Am I just playing with my mind? That's something that humanity does. They don't listen to their intuition. They don't believe in it. They don't allow it to finish out its teaching. They want to logically understand it, and intuition has nothing to do with logic. So don't be surprised if you're doing readings for someone or you're practicing doing readings. You might get 3 things in a row that seem very similar, even though they're 3 different people, because the universe is trying to teach you a concept or elevate your consciousness on that particular topic. So that's one. Number 2, sometimes I will see parts of my history, something that I haven't thought about in years, and it lets me know that that person that I'm working with is going through the very same thing or something similar, and how I resolved it or what I learned from it is going to be a big help for them as well. Sometimes you'll hear parts of lyrics of songs or even pieces of a television show where you'll hear it or feel it or remember it to help you in reading your own life or reading someone else's life. So the universe works incredibly hard, although they would never use that word. They would never use the word hard, like they worked hard to break your resistance. So humanity has a lot of resistance. We're just now understanding the concept of feeling love for self. We're just now getting into it. We're just now moving into the Aquarian age. I mean, for goodness sakes, we live in one of the only dimensions in all of the cosmos. That means all of the universes where our vocabulary has words in it like war and famine and crime, which do not exist outside of Earth. No, they do not. So we're just learning, some new concepts, and humanity has a lot of resistance. So when you have a resistance towards anything, the universe tries to work around your resistance and provide the information in a different way. And so it may, if you're someone who's highly visual, let's say when it comes to your intuition, but something that you need to tell a client or learn about yourself, and you have resistance about that topic, the universe will make it so it's auditory or make it a feeling instead of your normal route of perceiving intuition. That's why it's important to be open to all of the clairs. A lot of people just want to say, oh, I'm clairvoyant or I'm clairaudient. They want to pick one and they want that to be their clair. Well, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it's great to know where your strengths are, how your intuition works for you, but be open to be surprised, because when humanity has experienced some form of resistance and they're not getting the picture, the universe is going to find a different way to approach. I was working on a client maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I still saw people in this room in person. And I was almost done with the session. Worked from head to toe. I don't remember everything we talked about. I record all of my sessions I have since the very beginning of my career. And so I never worry about, oh, did I forget to, do they really understand this? Because they can go back and listen to it if they want to. But all of a sudden, I get this really stabbing pain in my left leg. Stabbing. And it almost brought me to my knees, actually, while I'm standing in the room. My hands are on this person, not even on this person's legs. And it took me by surprise for a moment because I hadn't felt physical pain when I laid on patients for a good 15 years at that point. I did in the very beginning of my career. Highly empathetic people can feel physical and emotional pain of others. But my guides had taught me to calibrate my energy to run faster, like what we're talking about every single day on this podcast, to run our vibration faster, so that you don't have the physical disruption in your own body, but you still have the knowingness. So I didn't have the knowingness. I had not picked up that this person had chronic pain in this one leg. And so the universe is showing me by having me experience what this person has experienced. And I finally said, "Do you get pain in your left leg?" And she goes, "Oh, yes. I forgot to tell you. I've had chronic pain in my left leg." I'm like, "Oh, my goodness. Okay." So we could work on it and get to the root cause so I could help alleviate it, because I literally had no idea that this person had pain. So try not to get too caught up that you have to have a certain clair or you only have this clair. And when I'm using the word clairs, these are your abilities to hear and see and feel the multisensory world. We take the five senses and we elevate them to something that's outside of the physical realm, but there's a physical aspect to it, where you're hearing it, but nobody else is hearing it in the room. You're seeing it, but nobody else is seeing it. You're feeling it, but nobody else is feeling it. Like if there were other people in that room that day when I was feeling that pain in my left leg, nobody else would have felt it. They call that clair. Clairsentient is the feeling. Clairaudient is the auditory sensation where you're hearing something that nobody else is hearing. Clairvoyance is the gift of seeing what other people aren't seeing. There's even, I don't remember the actual term for it, but people can smell. Their auditory or olfactory, sensation is in the clairs, and they can smell. I used to smell my great grandmother who smoked a corn cob pipe, which I didn't know, but I was smelling her a lot around me for a few years. She was an intuitive herself, which I also did not know until my family told me when I was having an experience. They go, "Oh, yeah, you're just like great grandma Lucinda." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." But I could smell her corncob pipe. So sometimes mediums or people who are experiencing their loved ones, which is a medium experience, by the way, they will smell perfume or cigar smoke or something about that person that will trigger their memory of who they are. The universe knows everything about you, knows everything that you will remember, everything that will trigger your consciousness to have an awareness, to understand the multisensory world. And it works, my word, not theirs, tirelessly to help you to understand your multisensory experiences and whatever it is that you wish to practice in this physical realm that goes beyond logic, which is 1,000 times more accurate than the logical mind. Intuition is always 1,000 times more accurate. So just some tips for you and some ideas. Be open to all the clairs. Don't think, if you think you're clairaudient, that if you start to see something that it's not intuitive. It is. And ultimately, what all professionals want is to have a knowingness. We actually don't care if we see it, hear it, or feel it. We just want to know. So I hope that for you as well. I think that would be super fun. All right. As everyone who listens to the podcast, if you're brand new, welcome. Please like and subscribe below if you're watching this on YouTube. That if you go to my website and get on the podcast page, you can leave a voicemail, and thank you for doing so. And all the people who have thus far, you will get a free self-hypnosis meditation if you do. So thank you so much. And so now I'm going to the phone lines, which are really voicemails, and start answering people's questions. It's very fun for me. So thank you so much.
Peace, Marie. This is Coretta calling from Texas, one of your former students. I'm so excited for your new format. Thank you so much for all that you do. You're like my godmother in my head. I appreciate you so much. So my question is, I've really been working on managing my mind. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that, but I'm just curious to know if you see any ways that I can improve this, or just continue on the track that I'm on. And also, if there are any messages that my guides are telling me that I'm maybe not quite hearing or feeling or tuned into, that would be awesome to know as well. Again, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Coretta. I always communicate through the guides, always. But when people ask me specifically, I kind of jump into what I call the hallway, where I believe they hang out just to see if there's anything they wanted to add. I'm glad that you are spending less time in your mind. I do feel that you need more present moment energy, which can be a form of meditation, some qigong, some yin yoga. When we practice meditation, which really means calming down the mind, relaxing it, letting it become really just super, super quiet, like white noise. That helps you if you practice it every day, however you wish to. That helps you to keep your mind void of any form of process so that you can use your intuition. I can hear your guides say that you're very intuitive. And as you start to recognize that and use it, 'cause intuition is meant for us to use, not just to keep a list of it. Oh, I have this intuitive experience. Oh, I had this one, but to actually follow it. Um, they said that your life will become even more joyful. That's what you're ready for, and so quieting the mind even further allows that intuition to be obvious. I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much, Coretta.
Hi, Marie. This is Jean from Oregon. Thank you so much for everything you do. I'm a massage therapist and I practice cranial sacral therapy. And recently I had a client that came to me. I detected that something was wrong by the color that I was seeing while working with her. And it ended up that she had cancer. She's undergoing chemotherapy and I am continuing to work with her. The other day I worked with her and I had my hand on her lower abdomen and I felt all of this energy coming through me. And in the end, it made her dizzy. For about a week, she came back to see me. I did some more cranial sacral with her. The dizziness went away after a couple of days. I backed off a lot though. I guess my question is, I really enjoyed allowing that energy to come through me, but maybe it was too much. And what do I need to be more neutral, or how do I work with that? Thank you for your help.
You're welcome, Jane. Great question, and thank you for the work you do. Chemo has tons of side effects. I mean, it's such a potent, strong drug that's being infused into somebody's veins, moving all over their body. So let's just assume the energy work did not make her dizzy. It can make people dizzy for a short period of time. I used to have people, which I'm sure you do because you're a massage therapist, sit at the end of the table afterwards until they could get their sea legs back. But we should assume that this dizziness could even be related to the chemotherapy. I do not want you to hold back. I want you to keep going. I really don't think that's in her best interest. It sounds like she has a fair amount of repressed anger in her reproductive organs, which is not uncommon for female people or people who identify as female. So let's assume it's chemo related and that it has very little to do with your energy work. And certainly it's not negative. I mean, we don't want people to drive when they're dizzy and all of those things, but please don't hold back. Keep going. Keep going. I think it's a good thing. And I think she's very lucky to have you. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Eileen, and I am in West Sussex in England, in the UK. I'm a little nervous, overthinking of what I would like to ask. I would love my guides to give me some inspiration of what's next. I am a horticulturist and I do energy healing also, which I adore both, and they have both actually just come to a stop. I'd love to move. I have no idea where I'd like to move to yet. Starting to be playful with the universe and asking to inspire me and show me what's next chapter. I'm really looking forward to being with you on the Shift Network very soon.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, just any inspiration would be wonderful. Many blessings, sweetheart. Bye.
Thank you, Eileen, and many blessings to you as well. And we probably just wrapped up that class on the Shift Network. I teach about 2 times a year on the Shift. I think what's next is falling in love with yourself, having these felt experiences. Like you're not going to know where to move until you really fall in love with yourself and you can feel your being excited about a destination. Thank you for doing energy work. Please don't stop. We don't have enough energy workers on the planet. So falling madly and deeply in love with yourself is what's next. That will lead you to clarity about all these other questions you may have. Because when we can feel authentic love for ourselves, even for just a few moments every day, we heighten our vibration and our frequency. We start hanging out with our higher self. We can feel creation. We can hear creation because creation, source, universe, angels, guides, all of those beings love us so deeply and so profoundly that when we start to love ourselves, which will be a fraction of the love they have for us, we can hear them a lot more easily. We can feel them with certainty, and then we can have the clarity that we need to move forward. So falling in love with you. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Lindsay, and I was hoping you could help me by letting me know how I can cure the root cause of my migraines. And if you could help me at all with understanding the feelings, like kind of sad or anxious or difficult feelings that I have, like emotions from time to time, and I don't know where they're stemming from. I don't know what to do about them. I don't know why I feel how I feel. If you could guide me in those areas and anything having to do with health and well-being, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello, Lindsay. Thank you for your question. So, most people have no idea what they're feeling at all. I would say that 98% of the clients that I see, because the first thing I do is scan their energy, their emotional response system to find out where their feelings are and what they're really feeling. And I would say 98% of the people I see, and I mostly see older soul types, those are the people who are interested in spirituality and wish to grow consciously and aren't afraid of words like victim consciousness and things of that nature, which are, uncomfortable words for a lot of humans. They have a hard time with that phrase. So 98% of the people I see think they're not happy. They don't believe they're fulfilled. They believe they have a lot of anxiety or depression or anger. But when I get them to go into their emotional body, which is really easy for me to do one-on-one, it's so much harder in a class. I mean, I can take everyone in a class through meditation into the second layer of the auric field and have them assess their real emotions. But when I'm doing it one-on-one, I can see it. And when I'm in a class, I just can't go into 100 different people's bodies, in the short time that we have and help them feel their emotions. So when I work with a client and they do this, they are shocked and surprised, the majority of them, with what they're really feeling because it is nothing that their mind tells them. So I already know because I checked in on you that these feelings that you described are not real. They're mind-made emotions. So when people think about a particular topic over and over and over again, they create emotions to support those thoughts. And I call those mind-made emotions. So let's just say you don't know what you're feeling. In fact, I'm happily surprised when a client says to me, when I say, how are you feeling? They go, I don't know. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Because I'd much rather have someone know the difference between mind-made emotions and real emotions, which are located outside of your body in the second layer of your auric field. And that's why I have people rest in the lower half of their body, because then they can enter into that area very quickly, easily, just naturally. And like even today, I haven't rested in the lower half of my body to ask myself what I'm feeling. And so I don't know. And that means I don't listen to what my mind tells me, because when we're listening to the mind made emotions, they go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So I ignore those until I can get into the lower half of my body and feel. And real emotions are calm. They're very compassionate, and they're a little bit surprising because they're the opposite of what your brain has told you. They also don't change often. They change every 7 to 10 days, real emotions. So once you do dive in there and you get an experience and you know what you're really feeling, because it's calm, compassion, a little bit surprising, it won't change for at least a week. So you'll know for at least a week what you're really feeling. Thank you. I hope that was helpful.
Hi, Marie. This is Kathy calling from San Jose, California, and I am so glad I found you. I'm been binge listening to your podcast and your YouTube channel videos. Just everything about you is amazing, and you're such a light. My question is that I keep looking for answers regarding like bad and dark energies. I have heard other mediums talk about this, and I think this is what is causing me blockages to want to connect to my guides or angels or my higher self. I'm scared that I will let in bad entities or bad energies. I don't really understand how that works, and like, I guess if there's really heaven, hell, and how does bad energy show up in our world, or is it even real? So thank you again for all that you do, and just any insight about this, it would be so helpful. Have an amazing day.
Thank you, Kathy. Really good question. I have never seen hell, and I fly around the universes a lot. I mean, that I can, in whatever level my consciousness is. So there are no bad energy outside of Earth. You and I live on the lowest vibrational reality that exists. And there probably are similar realities to Earth, like physical realities, like a planet that's like Earth. But once you go outside of Earth, it's just high vibrational frequency and love and joy and high frequency happiness. So I don't believe look at it this way. If you were a soul hanging out in the universes and you could be anywhere you wanted to be, why would you want to come down and be mischievous with humans? You wouldn't want to. So there's just too much to do. There's too much fun to have. In fact, when we see people who have experiences that are like psychic attacks or things of that nature, they're typically related to individuals who have a lot of emotional upheaval in their body. And so they attract an experience to actually help them wake up. But I've never experienced anything bad or scary ever in the 25 plus years of professional practice. And I've been studying spirituality since I was a child. I've never had a negative experience whatsoever. So I that's what I think, and that's what I believe. And I hope that helps you enormously so that you can let go and know that everything's okay and all the weirdness already lives here on earth. Okay, thank you.
Aloha. My name's Jennifer, and I had some friends for about 4 years, and then because of a violation of boundaries, a big violation, I've asked them to leave my life. It was an ugly transition, but they're gone from my life, but they're attacking me on other levels, taking over web pages and trying to get me in trouble in all kinds of ways, reporting me. What can I do to protect myself or to get them out of my life? Or I get so anxious, I'm almost afraid to leave my house right now, and I don't like living this kind of fear. What kind of guidance can you give me to deal with people who are throwing really bad energy and involving the courts and things? Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for your question. So, you have a long history in previous lifetimes of being betrayed, and it's something you want to heal in this lifetime. This is a form of victim consciousness, by the way. So, in order to get people who are not in your best interest away from you, you're going to have to change your energy. That's what's going to have to change. That means you're going to need to feel loved, adored, appreciated, lovable, deserving, and worthy. You're going to have to start creating that vibration inside your body. And then people who betray others or who are unkind are not attracted to people who have high vibrational self-worth feelings about themselves. Falling in love with yourself, thinking that you're worthy and deserving, and not putting a lot of energy into these mischievous activities. Like, don't think about it. Like, do your very best. And I know it's really hard when we get into these forms. This is a form of victim consciousness, and everybody has had these experiences to some degree. Maybe not exactly what you're experiencing, but victim consciousness is part of the human reality. It's part of why many people come to Earth, is to learn not to feel victimized by a topic or a situation or people in general. So you have to fall in love with yourself. Think that you're amazing, beautiful, adorable, cherishable. Your vibration will raise because people who do mischievous acts run their energy really low. And as long as you feel betrayed and are scared, which logically makes sense, but when we're talking about energy, we don't want to spend a lot of time on logic, especially this particular topic. If you can get your energy elevated, they're going to forget all about you. They're going to forget your name. They're going to forget your address. They're not going to know how to bother you. And I'm not kidding when I say that. So here's your what if question. Anyone can use it. What if I easily feel loved, adored, and cherished? So that's your homework. Let me know how it goes. Okay.
Hi, Marie. My name is Julia. My question today is a topic that seems to be rarely mentioned, and I feel it is my sole purpose to put it out there, and it is about abortion. I had an abortion, and I spent many, many years in a kind of hell, believing that I had murdered my child.
Right.
I know that my child was going to be a girl, and so I lived for a long time imagining her age, what we would be doing, and the life we would be sharing. It was extraordinarily painful and really can't be talked about or grieved because it's a choice that we make sometimes as women. However, I'm wondering if you can help me to understand this from a greater perspective. I think I am starting to understand it differently now. It has led me on a different kind of path, a path of self-love, a path of believing that this is a soul, and a soul can never be destroyed. And the soul, in fact, may be my spirit guide, and she is here to assist me on the journey of self-love and also of being able to communicate to others and help them with the pain that they've experienced from this choice. Any kind of insight, anything that you have regarding this. I have visited other mediums. I've talked with Neil Donald Walsh. He has helped me greatly. But I am looking for some more answers. And I know and believe that you really could help move me forward in understanding this and have a frame to better hold this.
Okay, Julia. It's definitely an interesting topic for lots of reasons, especially right now in the United States and many other places, probably throughout the world. Probably. Uh, First of all, and this is crucially important, souls are geniuses. They're incredibly bright. They're incredibly smart. They never make a mistake. Many souls do not even enter the womb or into the fetus until delivery. I'm going to say that again. Most souls do not enter the womb, i.e., the fetus, until delivery. Because they're like, oh, I'm just going to hang out in the heavens and have fun. I don't want to spend 9 months in the womb. I mean, souls are very creative, powerful, highly knowledgeable creatures. And so if a soul enters a womb where the pregnancy will be terminated, whether it's a miscarriage or an abortion, or the fetus dies before delivery through natural causes or something of that nature. If the soul entered into that developing fetus, it's because it wanted to have that experience. It wanted to know. It wanted to know what it felt like to die in utero, or to be aborted, or to be miscarried. Souls are highly curious creatures, and they just want to have lots and lots and lots of experiences. So the majority of when souls are choosing a parental unit, they know if that parental unit is not going to be their parents. So if they want to incarnate to the world, they do not choose a woman who's going to miscarry, terminate a pregnancy, or if there's going to be something wrong with the fetus. They don't choose that. So they're not even in there. The soul's not even in there. That's what I believe. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Jess. I feel like I'm going through a pretty big transformation at this time, but recently I've been feeling a little stuck financially and physically, and I am working towards my manifestations every day, and I'm trying to live in the future reality the best that I can. And I've noticed the past week there's been a lot of strange things happening to me, and I'm not sure if it's my spirit guides or something else trying to communicate something to me. I would love your guidance or any advice that you would have to offer.
Hi, Jess. Kind of a lot of questions. um, when you're manifesting, you always want to be present. So manifesting requires a twofold. One, that you're happy the way things are. Like, you have to find happiness exactly the way your life is. We can't be living in the future trying to manifest. You have to be present in the present moment, not focusing on the things that you don't like, but focusing on the things you do like, while you take moments to feel that what you want has already happened. It's a two-part experience. And I think you spend time analyzing and processing this and trying to figure it out. And you've probably heard me say, when it comes to resources, you can only think about something that brings you joy. And I mean high level, high vibrational joy, when you're interacting with wealth. So before you use a card, or take cash out, or transfer funds, or write a check, which not very many people do anymore. So try to do your very best to be happy right now, exactly the way things are, instead of in the brain analyzing and processing what you're not happy about. That doesn't help in the manifesting aspect. You have to hold both energies. When I was getting ready to leave the nursing career that I had, I was, working in the hospital. I had a small practice at home. So I was seeing clients. I was building my practice. And I had a hard time doing what I just asked you to do, by the way. I was checking my voicemail, oh, how many new clients do I have? And my guides sat me down and said, you're going to have to find something you can authentically, truly enjoy about where you are. You're not at home right now. You are not laying hands on anyone. You are laying hands on patients. You're auscultating their lungs. You're palpitating their pulse. You're putting IVs in and all those other fun things that I like. And that's where the joy needed to be while I was in the hospital. Because if you're not doing that, then you're not present. And messages of clarity come to us when we're in the present moment, not when we wish we were in the future. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Sue, and I live in Northern California. I've had chronic fatigue since I had a bad case of mono as a kid. I absolutely love doing hatha yoga. It helps me feel strength, joy, and connection in my body. But afterwards, I feel extremely achy and inflamed all over, even in my head, brain, meninges area.
Yeah.
Is there something I can do to help with that? Something to help with the achiness afterwards, the inflammation, and also to build up stamina so I can tolerate more than doing just a little bit at a time without these aftermath symptoms. My second question is, at times I have obsessive intrusive PTSD types of thoughts where my brain gets stuck in scary negative thought loops or images. This can be gone for years and then suddenly reappear. What causes this, and how can I help my brain? Thanks so much, and thank you for being you. Your presence and joy alone help me. Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome, Sue. I'm so happy it helps you. I'm not very familiar with hatha yogurt, yoga. If it has anything to do with heat, that's why it's wiping you out. And really what's going on with your body is your mitochondria are exhausted and they haven't re-energized themselves. So you've probably heard me say this before, but I think near infrared light mixed with red light, not I think I know, it feeds the mitochondria. And it's not a hot heat source. It's not hot at all. Maybe a little warm, but certainly not hot. I love platinum therapy. Red Rush has a good product. And when I say good products, they're FDA approved, which is important. And they don't give off hardly any UV light, which we don't want. If we're going to put light on us, we don't want it to be UV light. That's not good for us. So Red Rush actually has a better product when it comes to the least amount of UV light. I have platinum therapy panels. I like those the best for me, but I have both. I think they're both cool products. So that's what you need to do is feed your mitochondria. How about yin yoga? I think that would be better for you. But again, I'm not familiar with the hatha yoga. And again, if it has heat in it, that's what's exasperating you. Yeah, so you like to move your body, and that's good for you, but we need to feed the mitochondria. And I don't remember what your second question was. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to go on to the next person.
Hi Marie, this is James and I'm leaving this message from Italy. So my question is, when manifesting something, do we need to be specific or not? I've been meditating for like 2.5 years and I have achieved great goals, but sometimes the outcomes aren't what I expected. So, I'm working on manifesting a house and a significant amount of money. And I want to say that I'm not obsessed with how I know that it can literally come out of nowhere and not for my business. And I know that I don't have to work hard or struggle for it. And I have a clear vision of what I want in the future. But, while I'm certain about my desires, I'm not really sure whether I need to specify the exact amount of money in the particular house, because I feel like being specific about the qualities and features I desire in a house can enhance the manifestation process. However, I feel like being too rigid about a specific house might limit the universe's possibilities, right? So maybe I should just focus on key aspects like location, the size and features, allowing some flexibility for the universe to present options that can maybe align with my overall vision, right? So my question is, what's the exact process for manifesting something like this? Thank you.
Hello, James. Great question. Please be extraordinarily general because you don't really know everything that you want. You have ideas. That's great. I promise the universe will deliver exactly what's in your highest good, what you will love and adore and cherish. You want to focus on something general that's going to raise your vibration. So, like a particular fixture, not how many square feet the house will be, not its location, none of that. You don't want to focus on all that because you may not know exactly where you want to live. You may logically know where you want to live, but you may not energetically. About 12 years ago, I was looking for a house, a new house. I was going to move out of the family home where we raised the family. And I was convinced I knew exactly where I wanted to live. I wanted to live closer to downtown Kirkland, off Market Street, so that I could just walk to this really quaint, lovely town and get coffee or whatever. And as I started looking for houses, I realized, thanks to my agent who was showing me around, I really didn't want to be that close to the water. Luckily, when you live in Washington, there's just water everywhere. So most people are in a very close proximity to water, and our lakes are huge. obviously we have the sound nearby. You see it no matter where you go or what you do. And as I was being shown homes, I noticed my energy rose every time I was near trees and green spaces and wetlands. I mean, like rose way more than if I was looking at a lake. So, what I focused on when I had that epiphany, like, oh, interesting. Um, I focused on something that brought me really great joy. And it's going to be different for everyone. And it's going to be maybe weird. I like really high, kind of thick trim around, the flooring and the doors and all of that. It makes me happy. In fact, I just had all my trim upgraded to even higher than it was when I bought the house because I had new flooring put in and I didn't want MDF. I wanted wood for the trim. So I focused on trim. I just got excited about trim. I thought about trim all that because it made me happy. So manifesting comes from joy. Joy, 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 joy. It's a high vibrational experience. So you need to think of one thing, one thing. Because if you start to think of 10 things that make you joyful, then you start creating the house. And what if the house is not supposed to be where you think it is, or it's not supposed to be the size that you think it will be? What if? Just imagine if I bought the house that I wanted that would be closer to the water, which, by the way, I hate to be cold. And when I look at water, especially in the Northwest, because it's always cold, even in the summer. And if it's 100 degrees outside, it's still cold, so close to the sound, it's really cold here. But that area that I love, I walk there all the time. It's got tons of traffic, and downtown Kirkland is super popular. They do all kinds of events. So it wouldn't give me the quiet that I didn't realize I wanted by being close to trees and other forms of nature. So general, general, general. And then when you find the thing you really like then you can be specific about, like in my case, how wide that trim is, how tall it is. Is it white? What color is it? Yeah, that's how you do it. Thank you. One more before I go off and do other things.
Hi, Marie. This is Sam. I'm calling from Boston. And my question is about maybe just what you see for me and what my guides have to tell me. I've been on my awakening journey for maybe since 2006, and it's been a slow process, but working on it. And I experience a lot of synchronicities, but can't quite hear my guides like I expect someday I'll be able to. So I'm midlife, and I'm looking to hopefully change careers and maybe change where I live, and
Cool.
just hoping you can give me some input on that and maybe even next steps for talking to my guides directly. Okay, looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you. You're very lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. You can talk to your guides whenever you want to. I would highly recommend that you practice now, or not just practice, but just talk to them. You can even yell at them. I know that sounds funny, but the universe doesn't care even if we yell or swear at them. They think it's kind of funny and cute and, oh, wow, they really meant it, or they're really pissed, because anger is a higher vibration than depression, actually. So I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, Sam, but I think you're going to get the benefits that you're looking for by falling madly in love with you. You haven't done that yet. You like yourself. I even see that you have, gratitude towards yourself, but I don't feel that, deep, endearing, unconditional love for you, by you. So that's what I think that's going to just turn the lights on in the ways that you want them to be by just falling madly and deeply in love with you. And it's an emotional connection when we love ourselves. It's not a thought. It's not a thought at all. There is a book called Love Yourself as If Your Life Depended on It, written by a man, which is really lovely, who was a startup person in the tech world and who actually became ill. And he has cool techniques in there about how to love oneself. And I just always love when we not only have female authors, but male authors too on these really cool, deep emotional topics. I think it's important to have both vibrations of energy, very well represented. So you're right there. You just have to love yourself. Even if it's 10% more. Some people think that when I'm giving an instruction or an idea, like they have to, I got to figure this out by 100%. Well, no, even 10% is going to move the needle. And then you're going to get excited. You're going to do it another 10%. And then the needle is going to jump even further. So no one ever has to get to 100% or even 50% to have significant change in their life and begin creating what they deserve and they desire. And I'm excited for you to love yourself because it's a really fun, interesting experience. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a very beautiful day. Oh, I just remembered because I taught Reiki last weekend in Washington State. So we have 41 new Reiki masters, walking around the planet, and they wanted me to give a shout out to their class. It was very fun, by the way. I truly enjoyed it. I teach it in this beautiful hotel that used to be a monastery, and it was redone, but kind of kept to its original design, if you will, right in a state park. It's very gorgeous. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.